Though I walk through the valley, through the valley, through the valley, though I walk through the valley is not my home. Though I sail through deep water, deep water, deep water, though I sail through deep water, water is not my home, not my home, not my home. Though I sail through deep water, water is not my home. Though my body's weary, 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 though my body's weary, body is not my home, not my home, not my home. Though my body's weary, body is not my home. On that day, I'll be free. I'll be free. I'll be free. On that day, I'll be free. I'll be going home. Going home. Going home. On that day, I'll be free. I'll be going home. Though I walk through the valley, through the valley, through the valley, though I walk through the valley is not my home.
Welcome, friends, and thank you for joining us for our annual Thanksgiving service. Stand now as we join together in singing, "We Gather Together."
We gather together to beside us to guide us, our God, with us joining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Now, Lord, we're at our side, all glory be thine. We hold to extol Thee, Thou leader in battle, and pray that Thou still our defender will be. Let Thy congregation escape tribulation. Thy name be ever praised, O Lord, make us
Let us pray. Creator God and giver of life, inspire us on this day to set aside our excuses and complaints about all that impedes our lives. Help us to breathe deep the air of new beginnings. Lift us up to a fresh start. Help us to see this life of ours through the lens of thanksgiving and gratitude, that we may become people of grace and mercy, peace and love, this day and every day. Amen. Please take a moment and say good morning to those whom you're seated near.
Good to see you. Jackie, Ash. Good morning. We got one more thing.
So glad to have you here today on a wonderful sunny day.
Welcome to this morning. It's good to see you all here for the Thanksgiving service. We are pleased to have Dr. Matt Dewar here. I suspect maybe some of you have come to hear Matt's words of wisdom. If you have not ever done so, put your information in the green book back there on the back table, and we'll send you our information. You can get connected with what the community church is doing. Next door, you can connect with one another in Reed Hall for coffee after the service. There are some good treats over there. I've already sampled them in case they were poisoned. If you see me go down, there is the pageant looms. It's coming, and the pageant is going to be on the same day as the opera cowgirls, and I think they're sort of world famous. So the pageant's going to be a big deal. If you're a parent or if you're a child of a parent, you might nudge your parent and say, I'm interested in the pageant. If you are, you can sign up on the back table or see Sue Gale Beck. She's right there. Wave your hand again, Sue. There she is. She's masterminding the pageant again this year. The 2020 annual fund has officially come to a close, but we are still accepting your donations until December 31st. It's properly open. Information's on the back table. You can also stick the card and your pledge into the offering today. Tom, do we have turkey hats today? What do we have?
We do not. We have annual fund hats that are open and accepting.
Great. Pictures for the there's a lot of repeats this morning. Pictures for the directory. We cherish your faces, your names, and as this congregation grows, it's very helpful to have a directory for you, for us. A great way to do that this time of year as we sort of try to finish up the directory photos is holiday photos. Any of you taking holiday photos coming up soon? I'm sure you are. Feel free to send your holiday photo. What's Ken doing? Yeah, I'm waiting for the music to start. That sort of, and 1 week left for Beacon Place Christmas Gift Boutique. You can bring gifts into the chapel. The deadline, however, for gifts to be donated is December 3rd, Tuesday, December 3rd. That's next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. We need to have those gifts, all the gifts you want to donate to the that project by, let's call it 9 a.m. on Tuesday. You might have, I believe there's a 3x5 card that came with your, your bulletin. What goes on there? Something brief, short of a novella, that you are thankful for that Tom and I will read later in the service. So don't hesitate to make it meaningful. If it's funny, all the better, but meaningful. The Sweet Maries, thank you for being here. That's a middle name of two of them. Yes. It's the middle name of two of them. I think Christina just tagged herself on. But the Sweet Maries have an album, Heart to Sell, and that is on sale today. Do you have copies of that today? They do have copies. So if you like what you hear, and we do so far, come up and get an album or make it a gift. Even better. I wanted to make this plug. Fred Cook, Breakfast Jams, the toast of the town. 6 to 8 Thursday mornings. I said, Fred, what kind of music are we going to hear here? He said, kids' music that parents can tolerate and music that parents want their kids to know. I thought that was pretty good. So Thursday, it's a radio show on 88.9. It's the college radio station. So 6 to 8 Thursday mornings, a.m. And I believe that's all I have this morning. Thank you all.
Is the road to heaven paved with hell? I speak with tongues of angels in a cheap motel. Got a hopeless heart from a reckless climb. Ain't got it all together, but it'll be alright. Am I a sinner or am I a saint? 'Cause I feel like a misfit on my better days. Was a ghost when I was younger, but it's in my past. I got it all together, but will it ever last? So I leave, free to go. Got a rambling heart and a God that I don't know. Feel alone, but this wanderer's coming home. Am I the bullet or am I the gun? Live my life as a chaser, now I'm on the run. From the earthly things that eat my soul, the crucifix and rock and roll. Am I the fire or am I the smoke? 'Cause I talk with the devil and the Holy Ghost. Then I cross my fingers behind my back. Hope my God will take up the slack. So I leave, free to go. I got a rambling heart and a family I don't know. Feel alone, but this wanderer's coming home. train or am I the track? Got myself out of Sodom and I don't look back. Am I to blame? Is it my fault if we look back and turn to salt? Am I a sinner? Am I a saint? Am I the shelter or am I the rain? I've been so afraid to show my face, climb the mountain and fall from grace. So I leave, free to go. I got a rambling heart and a God I want to know. Feel alone. This wanderer's coming home. Feel alone. This wanderer's coming home.
Hark the herald angel sings, peace on earth and everything. Bless the sky, bless the land, bless us all now holding hands. Mama's face, my baby's smile, saints and sinners reconcile. Oh, holy night, dreams reborn, peace on earth, it's Christmas morn. Wise men pray, church bells ring, a child is born, choirs sing. Oh, holy night, dreams reborn, peace on earth, it's Christmas morn. And I want you to know I still love you so. Little baby, don't you cry.
Don't you cry.
You know your mama's born to die. River Jordan is muddy and cold. It chills the body, but it warms the soul. Looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home.
Coming for to carry me home.
Brothers, my sisters, stand by me. No one should stand alone. Wise men pray, church bells ring, a child is born, choirs sing. Oh, holy night, dreams reborn, peace on earth, it's Christmas morn. And I want you to know I still love you so. Husband pray, church bells ring, a child is born, choirs sing. Oh, holy night, dreams reborn, peace on earth, it's Christmas morn. And I want you to know I still still love, I still love you so. I still love, I still love, yeah, I still love you so.
The scripture passage for this morning comes from the letter to the Colossians, chapter 3, verses 15 through 17. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Teach and exhort one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, give thanks to God, and do everything in and through the Spirit of Christ.
I'm delighted to welcome Matt Dewar to our pulpit, per se, today. Matt has been a guest speaker and preacher for our church probably for about the last 5 years, periodically preaching, and happily for the last year and into the year 2000, he'll be part of our team, and hopefully after that as well. And he does programs and seminars. In January, he'll be leading a retreat in Mendelein at St. Mary of the Lake Seminary. If you're interested in that, if you have thoughts or ideas for that, what you'd like to have him tackle, talk to Zach or Matt. Matt is a teacher at Lake Forest High School. He directs the wellness program, and he also is an author and currently writing a book set to be published in the coming year that part of the title, at least, is a mindful breathing workbook for teens. So Matt, who will also be speaking with our high school students on December 5th, I think, we're delighted to have you here.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? So today, or this morning, I'd like to talk about the art and practice of gratitude, which is obviously a relevant topic given the time of year. In full disclosure, I just want to admit that I do not speak from a privileged position on this topic. Very recently, I was with my stepson at the kitchen table, and he was listening to YouTube videos aloud with no headphones, which I've reminded him a number of times is kind of annoying. And so I reminded him once again that it was very annoying, and then I kind of went into a couple other things that he had not taken care of, like laundry, etc. And he looks at me and he goes, "Man, when did you become such a fun sponge?" So I realized that maybe I needed to revisit some gratitude practices. I did point out to him, though, that if we were to take his accusation literally, that sponges actually soak things up and then they contain that thing. So technically, I would actually be full of fun. He didn't think that was funny, but I thought it was pretty clever. I invite you to get into an ideal breathing posture, which is feet flat on the floor, shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. And I also invite you to close your eyes if you can, if it's comfortable to do so. And I'd like you to take your right hand and just put it on your stomach, and your left hand on your chest. I'd like you to take 20 to 30 seconds and just simply notice yourself breathing. I want to take another minute or two and extend this reflective space. And if you feel like putting your hands down and that's more comfortable, feel free to do so. I'm going to ask you 3 questions to consider, one at a time. In the last 24 hours, what is it that you've received? And when I say what is it that you've received, what have you been given? And it can be by people, it can be objects, could be emotions that have been given, food, services, anything that you've been given by anyone or anything. And the second question I'm going to ask you is, what have you given? And the third and last question is, take a moment to consider in the last 24 hours, what troubles have you caused others? Inconveniences, maybe a comment that wasn't kind, maybe a failure to adhere to a particular responsibility. And here we are. These 3 questions were developed by a Japanese businessman named Isshin Yoshimoto over half a century ago. And it is called a Nikon reflection, which means seeing inside. The purpose of this reflection, what have I received? What have I given? What troubles have I caused? Is to look at the interrelationship between yourself and your reality. What's the missing 4th question? What have I received? What have I given? What troubles have I caused? What would be the next? What? What troubles have others caused me? That is intentionally left out. Why would that be? Yeah. Isn't it kind of our default setting to always already be acutely aware of all the shortcomings of other people? Especially in relation to ourselves? So the wisdom of the Nikon reflection, and in a traditional setting, this is done for 15 hours a day for 2 weeks. And you sit in a room with a blank screen in front of you or a blank wall, and you usually begin the reflection by focusing on your parents and your relationship to your parents. And it's often recommended that you start with a parent who you possibly have a strained relationship with. And over the course of the exercise, you begin to see that there is this fundamental interdependency and interaction at the heart of reality. And again, we're so acutely aware of all the ways we benefit everyone else, all the ways we contribute to others, but we often fail to see the many ways others contribute to our own life and the way reality itself contributes to our lives. So the first question, what have I received, is just asking people to look in a more nuanced way at all the ways they've been supported. Your shoes. And this is the beauty of the exercise. It doesn't just pertain to people. It starts with people, but then he has folks move into inanimate objects, our shoes, our socks, our clothing, utensils, food, strangers, people we know very well. And it's actually looking at how often we're supported and not aware. What have I given? Again, we're so aware of the fact that we contribute. But with the first two, we often underestimate how much we're given and overestimate how much we have given. And then, what troubles have I caused? We're not always aware of the many ways in which we inconvenience other people. And so, at the heart of the Nikon reflection is exploring our tendency to really be lost in our own drama and the consequences that has on our own subjective sense of well-being. The research on this particular work identifies 4 major obstacles to gratitude, which usually comes about from doing an Nikon reflection. The first is the negativity bias. We now know that our brains are instinctively oriented to negativity. And it's because our brains are made to help us survive fundamentally. And by identifying negative things, we ensure that we are surviving. Positive psychology researchers say that our minds are like Teflon to positive experiences and Velcro with negative experiences, right? And so how often the positive things happen, they just slide right off, and anything negative, anything unexpected, immediately it's stuck. I can think of a particular family member whom can spend an afternoon at a family occasion and everything is wonderful, everyone's having a great time, and then you get in the car and you start driving home, and all of a sudden there's a silence and you know it's coming. Did you hear how Aunt so-and-so said, "Pass the salt"? No, I missed that, right? So we all have this. We're all guilty of it. An unfounded sense of autonomy and independence, which is in some ways a part of our cultural, social DNA. We're very independent. We like to believe that our successes are the result of our own hard work. And so we tend to really focus on the contributions we've made. Brene Brown, I'm sure many of you have heard of Brene Brown. She's done a lot for the research on vulnerability in particular and helping people become more vulnerable, which is something we're not very good at as a culture. The third obstacle to gratitude is often what they call comparison thinking, constantly gauging our life with the lives of those around us. And social media has not helped this at all. And I work with young adults all day, and we have many conversations to this end, how we're stuck in this vicious cycle of constant comparison. and you think you're happy, and then you go onto social media and you see a storyline of someone's that looks actually better than what you thought you were just doing. So now you question if you were actually happy just a moment ago. And this cycle perpetuates. And then the fourth, there's more, but these are the four major ones, is just an addiction to distraction. We're just too busy. Just too zoned in, narrowed in on what's in front of our face, that we simply just don't notice that there are things going on in our lives that are worth paying attention to and being grateful for. And all four of these, in my opinion, really underlie, and this is something we spent time on the last retreat examining, all four of these are kind of aspects of an underlying narrative identity. A story we tell ourselves about ourselves. A story we tell that ultimately explains why our lives are the way they are. And if we're not careful, we construct narrative identities that direct our attention to things that might not always be life-affirming. Albert Bandura, the famous psychiatrist, wrote that we cannot outperform our self-concept. So whatever our self-understanding is, whatever our self-narrative is, it determines what we pay attention to. And what we pay attention to is ultimately what we experience. And what we experience is our reality. And so if we don't investigate the ways in which we create storylines that are unhelpful for ourselves, we'll never ultimately be able to shift our attention and maybe transform life outcomes. So what's the corrective for all of this? What's the good news? And the good news is both spiritual traditions and current research suggest we can do something about this. We can change this. And that is practice. Gratitude is a skill as much as it's an emotion. And typically, we think of it in two ways: formal practice and informal practice. Formal practice is actually taking the time to be still and to be quiet and to revisit what's going on within ourselves. To witness what are these patterns of attention that are constantly churning within us all day long that we're acting out reactively. What if we were to create a space 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, where we can slow down and learn to just simply get acquainted with the inner contents of our consciousness. Mindfulness is obviously a wonderful tradition in practice. There's many mindfulness practices to this end, and so is contemplative prayer. And I know this is something Zach has spoken to within this community a lot. I often say to students to this end that you can really get a sense of the depth of your relationship to yourself by how comfortable you are transitioning into a space of stillness and silence. And if that transition is very bumpy and awkward and even oppressive, then that might be something worth visiting and exploring. Informal techniques, informal practices, are things we can do in real time to help elicit a greater sense of gratitude. Here are four that researchers recommend. The first is not just to say thank you to people, but to say thank you for exactly what you're thankful for. So if someone holds a door for you, don't just say mindlessly or reactively thank you and go about your way. Say thank you for holding the door for me. Thank you for making this meal. Thank you for whatever the actual behavior is. Again, this allows us to be more conscious of the thanks that we're giving. During a meal, before each bite, take a moment to acknowledge a person, a condition, a thing that allowed this meal to be possible. Thich Nhat Hanh, the famous Buddhist monk, has a meditation to this end where he asks people to, as they begin their meal, to think about the person who delivered the produce, the truck itself that carried the produce, the farm the produce was created the weather, the conditions, the clouds, the rain, and if you go far enough, you realize that just about everything is implicated in your meal. And so this sense of thankfulness to the universe itself for providing the meal. The third is a garbage meditation as you throw things away. Just taking a moment to acknowledge what service or support was given to you by whatever it is that you're throwing away. And again, this is just, it might seem ridiculous, but when you actually do it, it interrupts that innate tendency to be self-absorbed. And the last is folding laundry. As you go through laundry and fold laundry, something we do all the time. Take a moment to think about whatever article you happen to be folding. In what ways did this contribute to your life? Maybe your socks kept your feet warm or dry. And so, again, why do we need to do this? There's a recurring story told in almost every spiritual tradition that goes something to the tune of, there's a man who's convinced he's poor. He begs his whole life just to get by, only to realize at the end of his life that the riches or wealth that he always thought he didn't have was actually right at hand. And this story is told in a variety of traditions in a number of ways. One, he's sitting on a box his whole life begging. Finally, someone says, have you ever looked into the box you're sitting on? And he's, oh, there's nothing in there. And the stranger insists that he get up and actually look inside the box. And when he does, he finds that there's immense wealth and treasures and all these things inside the box. And he feels like a fool because his whole life he was convinced he was poor and begging, only to realize that what he sought was very close at home. And I feel that there's no better story for summarizing gratitude. That we often go through our days convinced that we have some sort of internal existential poverty, and that we're so hungry to attain things to give ourselves that sense of vividness and life. But in reality, we always already have it if we take the time to pay attention. And the last thought, and this has to do more with spiritual traditions than current research, is putting ourselves in the presence of beauty. And in particular, natural beauty. One of the things I share with students all the time is I try to start basically every day of the week, all year round, by coming this way early, going down to the beach, and watching the sunrise. And the ancient Greeks were onto something because their word for beauty was etymologically tied to their word for calling. And the idea is that beauty is not a neutral force. Something that is beautiful is not a neutral force, that it actually calls us into a more meaningful relationship with the world. And so by finding times and places where we can get outside and marvel at the beauty of the world, all the things around us, sunrises and sunsets, the changing of the seasons, the smell of the air, the sound of rain, all of those things are a calling into a more intimate relationship with life, a calling for us to actually pay attention to the wealth we always already have. And to this end, there is, in my opinion, no poet better than the late Mary Oliver, who passed away, I believe, last January or February, in noticing all the subtle beauty in the natural world and being grateful for it. And this is her poem titled Messenger. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young? Am I still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing, since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude. to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. Thank you.
Well, thank you for an inspiring message. We'll take a moment to pass the hats. Also, and please know we're very grateful for the support you provide our ministry. If you'll also take the card that you have written what you're grateful for, your gratitude, and pass that to the aisle, and I will collect those in just a moment.
Surely would stand on that rock where Moses stood, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Now Mary wore 3 links of chain, and every link was Yeshua's name, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Moses stood on the Red Sea shore, smoting that water with a 2x4, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. One of these mornings, and it won't be long, you're gonna call some names, but they will all be gone, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Brothers and sisters, now don't you cry. There'll be good times go by and by, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. One of these mornings round 12 o'clock, this old world's gonna reel and rock, singing Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you moan. Pharaoh's army got drowned in. Oh, Mary, don't don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Don't you cry, don't you wail, don't you fret, my girl. Pharaoh's army took a bath that day, yeah, yeah. Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army took a bath that day. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Glory to God.
Thank you so much. I think it's 11 o'clock, and if you have a tea time or something like that and need to go, we understand. But I am grateful for all of those of you who are going to hang around for 5 minutes and hear what everyone else is grateful for. Zach?
Here we go. Grateful for old friends, families, and neighbors.
I'm thankful for second chances and rocking out at church.
Good friends in town.
I'm thankful for the rallying of my children this morning.
I'm grateful for being alive.
Grateful for nostalgia.
I'm grateful that my best friend is safe and that his family I now consider my family.
Thankful for an ear for music, pitch, having baby or leaving baby. Baby who is tolerant, 2 sons, my church here. Sorry I messed that one up.
Everything.
Friends gathering and welcoming us with food and beds to sleep.
Friends, family, and dogs.
My kids.
I'm grateful for Matt Dewar's good work with high schoolers in the community.
Gratitude to this church.
Thankful for the gifts and example of my mother, Ann, who we will miss over the holidays, but understand and lovingly release her to serve others. Yesterday, in a corner of Kenya with little access to health care, almost 500 women, children, men came to a medical clinic. She organized. We miss her, but those kids need her more.
I'm thankful for a long and happy life, a loving husband of 51 years, 3 kids, 11 grandkids, and Amazon.
My children.
So grateful that all of our children will be home from college for Thanksgiving.
Bodie, our family dog.
Thankful for longtime friendships.
This one in order: my dogs, family, and friends.
I am thankful to this community church for providing a place where I can worship. P.S. The music is also great.
For my wonderful family and friends and the joy they bring.
Grateful for an upcoming family Thanksgiving dinner that will include the infamous rutabaga dish.
Family, friendships, the community church.
Grateful for a new soulmate in my life.
Family, friends, and good health.
Yikes. No, I said that. Because someone else is grateful for Amazon, but also cable TV and sports.
All my birds are back in the nest.
Many thanks for you, Matt Dewar.
Friends, lovers, siblings, my children, grandchild, Head Skis, Linsky Bicycle, and Doug's Club Sandwich. I know who wrote that.
For sunshine.
The holiday season when loved ones can reunite and enjoy the slower pace of life together.
Grateful for all the ways the community church lifts my spirits.
Thankful for safety, peace, love, joy, health, and forgiveness.
Thanks to Tom and Zach for the very inspiring words they shared to the congregation. More power to you both.
I'm thankful for my family, friends, health, and my brothers coming home from college.
Thankful that my children were able to get out of bed before 10 o'clock so we could make it to church as a family.
I'm grateful for every day of health, mental and physical, beyond grateful for family and the never-ending love and support we can give to one another.
I'm thankful for my beautiful and compassionate wife, Patty, and our wonderful blended family.
I'm thankful for my health, for my family being together, especially having my Jen home from college, and for his best friends who are also like family. I am also thankful for being in this moment.
Grateful for sunshine, warmth, family, love, my husband, and beauty.
This was not my Jen, it was my son. Sorry. My son being home. Yep. I am happy my brother's home from college.
Love of my family and others.
Warm socks, lots of food and family.
I am grateful for friends, old and new, who have made a year of despair one of inspiration.
My awesome family, including our 2 dogs, our amazing friends, health and wellness, all those that keep us safe and protected.
Thank you for my friends.
Family, health, Tom and Zach.
I'm thankful for my health, family, and friends.
I'm thankful for my family.
Thankful for the hope of a brighter future.
That our prayer this Thanksgiving would be Philippians 1:3. I thank God upon every remembrance of you. May we focus on God's great sacrifice and infinite love for us.
I'm thankful for the sun, moon, friends, family, and this church.
Family, health, friends.
For the friendships that have blossomed from this church.
My wife.
I'm grateful for my dog, Xena.
I'm thankful for the enlightened souls amongst us who seek to bring us together as a country, those that help us see the truth and remember what a great country we are.
Someone is simply thankful for avocados.
The blessing of healing, the power of resilience, my wife and partner to share life and journey.
I asked God for all things that I might enjoy life. God gave me life that I might enjoy all things. I am so grateful.
I'm thankful for easy-to-read cards. No, that's not one. I am grateful for the beautiful chapel we hold services in, except for the 4 years I have been a member here. The ceiling light now on the left has been out. It's driving me nuts. Tom, you're next. It is, so it is. I haven't noticed that.
I'm thankful for the blessing of this community church, the joy, power, and wisdom offered each gathering, carrying me into each day.
Community, friends, family, health, happiness.
My familia, what else?
Family, health, friends, sunshine.
Happiness, health, and safety of my loved ones.
Family, the beautiful community around me.
The whole Nyland family being together.
I'm grateful for the life of my dad, who we lost last month, and the lessons learned from him.
The thanksgiving of my deep faith, the love and joy in my life. Health, Tony, Amy, Kate, Grace, and Jack.
I'm very thankful for this amazing church and community, thankful for great health, family, and friends. I'm thankful and grateful.
Family and good friends, my job.
I'm thankful I've found this community just at a time in my life when I most need it. Music heals and always makes me smile.
I'm grateful to Zach for his commitment to bringing our community together and in meditation and contemplative prayer.
Sunday morning with the community church people.
Thankful for living in such a beautiful area and a wonderful community.
Family.
I'm thankful for finally finding a church family that I have spent the last decade looking for.
Learning.
Laughter.
health, family, friends.
A great cat.
My sweet family and good friends, and Lola.
Health, happiness, and my husband cooking the turkey. Friends, go in peace. Live your life with a deep and abiding sense of gratitude. And may you live in the light of God's love this day and every day. And the people said, Amen.
My church is made of people. My church is being built. My church is made of the finest shades. My church is like a quilt.
I want to live out on the water. I like to look up at the stars. I need to be alone for hours. I like to pray in crowded bars. The best songs make me weepy,
But true love makes me strong. I wanna figure out what it's all about. I wanna write another song.
sometimes I see you in the mirror. I see you in my dreams. You're with me here forever, and that's what the story means. Do you know how much I love you? Can you feel it in the air?
By the fireside, late at night, in the music that we share.
I wanna thank you again for coming and for filling up my life. We live in the land of plenty. It's the garden of delight. Ooh la la la, ooh la la, ooh la 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 la, ooh la la la, ooh la la la, ooh la 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 la. Sometimes I see you in the mirror. I see you in my dreams. You're with me here forever, and that's what the story means. My church is made of people. My church is being built. My church is made of the finest shades. My church is like a quilt. I wanna thank you again for coming